Hey yo, a quite different setup from my usual. I decided to get a cheat meal today and I'm gonna do a Q&A while eating my cheat meal. So I had asked people from my Instagram to send me some questions. Thank you so much for sending some questions. I'm gonna try to answer them as best as I can. What do I have going on here? 2 burgers, triple patties, because I'm like that. And I got me the regular fries and some water, because we don't want to go too crazy. Like this right here is just enough calories. All right, where are my questions at? You know what, let me do a taste test first. Yeah, put this water over here. Put the fries over here. Man, I don't know if you can see that joint, man. Yeah, I'm gonna come closer. That's the stuff right there. Let me go with the classic sauce. Bro, I came here to do a Q&A. This burger distracted me right now. I ain't gonna lie. I got some questions. Here's the first one by Mike69953. What's your go-to exercise for building muscle? I think it's gotta be any compound, man. So the bench press, squats, can't go wrong with the deadlift, military press. If I were to pick though, like any one from those, it would probably be the squat, and specifically the hack squat, just because I can really hit the legs on that one. Yo, my hands are greasy right now, man. But that burger heating, I ain't gonna lie. The turkey bacon kind of adds a little bit of, that makes the flavor pop on this one. Fries are not bad. Fries are alright. The burger is definitely way better. Mr. McKelly said, or Mr. McKelly asked, share a hilarious gym moment. I mean, I don't have a ton of those really, but I feel like everything is funny if it's not happening to you. While doing like, push downs, you mess around, adjust the weight and forget that the bar is still there, and you just, stand up too fast and hit your head. That shit is funny to me. Savage Sign, my guy, he asked, what is the best way to stay on track? Example, add cheat meals, change routine. I would say having a good plan and sticking to it. That's like the first thing. Like without a good plan, it's hard to kind of, know where you're headed and know what it takes to get there. I mean, he definitely hinted on the examples, like adding cheat meals and changing the routine. Those are like right on the money. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm having my cheat meal. It's good to always have a day where you kind of just eat what you want, as opposed to just staying super strict. It prevents you from burning out. And like he also hinted, you need to switch up the routine. For me, that's like after every 15 weeks, I try to like switch things up, because it gives me enough time to master the weights, master the exercises. When I get to a point where things are kind of stalling, I would either switch it up, have some new exercises in the routine. And sometimes I don't even need to change the exercise, it's just the order of the exercises. For example, I could start with the flat bench for chest, and maybe like the next program that I ride, I probably would just start with like the incline. What else can I add? Because Savage Sign pretty much put the words in my mouth for this one. I guess you could add a way to hold yourself accountable. So for me, it's pretty much just posting my progress. That's like, a journal for me, so I can post that stuff. It keeps me accountable. And what's funny as well is if people know that you're posting your routine all the time, like if you don't post for a minute, people do notice. And I've had times where people hit me up like, hey man, is everything okay with you? Because I haven't seen you post stuff in a minute. So figure out a way to hold yourself accountable, whether it's have a workout partner or you have a journal where you can just put things down. So yeah, I gotta eat this food though. Moving on. Bro, every bite feels like I'm just trying it for the first time, really. What is this? M1N. Oh, mind over matter. How do you stay motivated to hit the gym? Number one, you gotta do it enough to get to a point where you start seeing your progress. I remember the first time I started, seeing my progress when I started working out. Once that switch went off, man, I got super motivated. I'm always like trying to get better. After putting so much work and seeing that result, like automatically I know that it works. And so I just kept doing it. And, you know, I guess every single day, except for like my off days, you know, I'm always like trying to get to the gym, trying to get better. Like I'm trying to figure out like how far I can really push my body. So seeing that progress, like doing it in enough times where you see that progress really helps. That should motivate you. And obviously we've heard it so many times. Like I feel like I'm beating a dead horse now. Motivation can only take you so far. You know, you have to rely on the discipline of waking up and hitting the gym, you know, staying on track with the diet, you know, making sure you're sleeping well, because that's going to affect your performance on the daily. So yeah, just keep that discipline and, you know, you're going to make them gains. I just went crazy on that question. I forgot I had a burger to eat. It's showtime. My guy, what do you think is the hardest thing about fitness or bodybuilding? I think that would probably be the delayed gratification part of it. You're constantly putting in that work, you know, hoping that whatever you're doing is working. Obviously, you know it's working once you, like I mentioned, once you start seeing the progress. But it takes a lot of dedication and hard work without the immediate return. And so I feel like that's the hard part. Some people would say the diet part, the workout part. I would say for, let's say, a beginner, definitely the diet part is going to be one of the hardest things. But when you get to a point where like you're an intermediate, you would have probably figured out like your diet part and you got that on lockdown. The next hardest thing is trying to push yourself past that limit. Yeah, Brooke lifts. Any tips for breaking through fitness plateaus? Yes, I got a few of them for you. Number one, you have to take some time off, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, you know, hell, sometimes it's even like a whole week for some people. You gotta figure out a way to take your rest days, because if you go, you're gonna burn out. If you're working out and you're not going as hard, then you probably don't need that, you know, rest day. But if you're going as hard as you can in the gym, you're probably gonna need to rest. Your body's a machine, you gotta feed it, you gotta rest it. Make sure you do all you can to keep it up to par, or you're gonna crash. For breaking through plateaus, you also need to be able to switch out your routine. Because if you're doing the same thing over and over, you kind of lose that stimulus. Switch things up, you know, so things, you know, you start feeling your muscle work again. New age 9. What are the best techniques to lose fat while maintaining current muscle mass? That pretty much just describes cutting. When you're cutting, you want to make sure you, one, keep your protein high. You know, you want to make sure your muscles have protein, you know, especially in a cut, to build that muscle or to maintain that muscle, because if you don't, you start breaking that muscle and there's nothing to replenish. You know, something else I would say would be lift heavy. Now, you don't need to ego lift. That's quite different from lifting heavy. You need to make sure you're stimulating the muscle as best as you can. You need to progressively overload that muscle. And that's gonna tell your body that, hey, even though we are in a deficit, we need this muscle, and that's gonna help you keep that muscle mass. Your boy just finished the first one, finna start the second triple. I gotta say, the only thing that I've had the whole day is just straight protein. So a whole bunch of chicken, and I guess I kind of had a couple grapes. And the reason I did that is because when you're eating a cheat meal, you know you're gonna go heavy on the carbs and the fats. So I pretty much ate protein to make sure I'm hitting my protein goal at the end of the day, right? Barely any carbs or any fats. Well, I had a few from the chicken, but majority of that carbs and fats is what I'm eating right now. So I can get away with eating, you know, 2 triple patty burgers and fries and still not go off track. The only difference between today and like a non-cheat day would be the quality of the calories. I'm still hitting my macros, right? I'm hitting my protein, my carbs, fats. The difference is they're coming from like an unhealthy source, if you will. Pound for pound, gram for gram, calorie for calorie, I'm hitting my goal. Envy Ryan. My guy, what do you eat in a normal day? Definitely not this. I start with a pre-workout snack. There'll either be some skyr and some berries. I would hit the gym. After the gym, I would have my post-workout snack, a shake, some carbs, like rice cakes or banana. And then I'll have my breakfast shortly after. Usually chicken and rice, and whatever veggie I decide to go with. If not, I just skip veggies, just straight chicken and rice, some sauce. In between work and dinner, I would have a snack again, For dinner, I'll probably have some rice and salmon or like potatoes, sweet potatoes. You know, just your normal healthy stuff. I also made a video of like a full day of eating where I think I was home the whole time that day, so feel free to check it out. I'm gonna put it somewhere on the screen. We're still going strong on the burger. Alejandro, how to set up your nutrition and calorie intake. You first have to figure out your goal, right? Do you want to maintain? Like, do you want to bulk or do you want to cut? If you are cutting, you need to be eating 10% less of what your maintenance is. To set up your maintenance, start with a gram per pound of body weight for protein. Maybe do like 30 to 40% carbs, 20 to 30% fats to start with. You need to track yourself to see if you're gaining or losing weight. And if you're staying pretty much the same, then that's your maintenance. So if you want to see how I do mine, just check out my full day of eating. It'll tell you all you need to know. Yeah, buddy. I'm going crazy right now. And Julie asked, how do you balance fitness with a busy lifestyle? So always make time. If you gotta work in the morning, you're not gonna have time to hit the gym in the evening, then hit the gym in the morning before work. It also means you gotta go to bed early to get your 7-8 hours of sleep. So you have to kind of, plan that, make sure everything is working well, so that way when you're supposed to be at the gym, you are at the gym. You gotta be efficient. I set up some of my stuff overnight. Like I have my water ready, my creatine ready. Set up things beforehand so that way you save time at the gym and away from the gym. We got King Mofit, my guy. He wants to know about the camera setup. I'm using the A7 IV for most of my shots. Sometimes I use my phone. I just rely on color grading to kind of spice things up. Sometimes the gear doesn't really matter if you don't know what you're doing with it, I got the Manfrotto tripod. And you're gonna need a tripod, especially if you wanna film yourself or have stationary shots. It's worth investing in. I also got the Rode wireless microphones. That's what I'm using right now, talking to y'all. I have this remote right here. I'm not always walking back and forth, to start my camera, stop it. Especially like if I'm at the gym, I wanna just do my workouts, right? And not just focus on creating content. I use this right here, start record, stop record. I can use this to autofocus, to zoom in sometimes, like a digital zoom and zoom out, so it's worth investing in my opinion. You save a lot of time. And learn how to edit, learn how to color grade, make sure you expose well. Basically learn how to use your camera and your editing software, really. I mean, sometimes if I'm vlogging, I would use a handheld tripod. I haven't had to use it in a minute, so that's the setup. Nothing too crazy. Brian J0N, Brian Jones. Any tips for starting a fitness journey later in life? You gotta take your recovery and stretching seriously, because the older you get, for lack of a better term, the fragile you tend to become. So dieting pretty much stays the same. You would have to maybe eat less because of a lower metabolism. Hold up, my burger's getting cold. Oh yeah. We got 3 Pagil or E Pagil. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, man. Are you still in college? No, I graduated college in 2019 with a biology degree, and I haven't been back since. And also, a lot of people think I'm younger than I actually am. No, I'm not. I gotta finish my food. I feel like I'm getting full now, but the ego in me wants to finish the whole thing because I got it. Can't just chicken out like that. So we're gonna finish the whole thing, like 3 bites left. The fries, I'm almost done with it. I don't love it, but the burgers, definitely gonna finish them. Last bite. Yes, sir. I don't know how I finished this, but it happened. Shout out to everybody who sent me questions. Let me know if I should do more of these chip meal, type setups. Also, shout out to Nash and Smash for letting me film in here. They're pretty welcoming, actually. Just film my content, and most spots don't let you do that. Nash and Smash, this is the place to be, man. I'll catch you in the next video. Like the video.